Yeah, doing the wonderful worldwide educators have a lot of regard for animals and always remind us how wonderful animals are. And it seems the Japanese have another angle of looking at how wonderful animals are. So Japan is to legalize organ transplant farms of, of animals to be raised and slaughtered for human transplant organs. So these animals will be raised in cages just to be slaughtered for the benefit of humans. And in this case, human longevity will be extended thanks to the wonderfulness of animals. And in Japan, the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology, you know, produced a research paper on this on this on this aspect of science involving the development of human organs in the bodies of pigs and other animals. So in the report, the panel concluded it would allow researchers to implant an animal embryo, a fertilized egg, containing human cells into an animal's womb and have the animal give birth, and then the offspring, will be slaughtered and the organs taken and used for transplant. So what do you say about this human perversity in looking for human organs to prolong and maintain life at the expense of animals, Duane?
Well, everybody's going to do what they're going to do, but I can see this could be a really interesting Netflix series. Very, very interesting. Kind of like the Santa Clarita Diet in a way, and I can see it as the show goes along. And let's say that they're focusing on maybe like someone who works at the farming or the manufacturing place where they do this, and this guy's growing older. Maybe he's the president, whatever, but he's growing older, and so he gets all these transplants from pigs. He's got a heart and kidneys and lungs and different things from a pig. I guess a pig kind of supplements a person more so than anything. I don't know. And so I can see them sitting around the dinner table having pizza every night because, most people like pizza. And eventually, his wife is getting tired of pizza and she looks at him and says, "You're really a pig, aren't you? We have pizza every night." So again, that's kind of a little story I made up there, Charles. Whatever people do, like the cloning and all this was done in Atlantis, all these things. Again, I don't remember the Indians doing this or the indigenous people. Of course, some of the indigenous people were pretty funny. They did sacrifices because they believed in gods and whatever. And that came from, again, the reptilians and Inky and all them. And so some of the indigenous people became infected. But, basically anything that is created or said or sounds good, it's like, oh, we have this new thing and we're doing this and, you can live longer because we're going to do these implants or whatever. Yeah, it all sounds good, but I don't really give it any merit unless it's to be utilized in some way. Other than that, I don't pay attention to it simply because it's usually some kind of marketing diversity nonsense that's going on that sounds good to the masses because the masses are always chasing the next idea. They really are. The next investment, what have you, etc. They're chasing these things, and this keeps them from focusing. And that's what the deceptors want. You constantly see things. Go on Facebook, go on your homepage, and go anywhere, watch the news, or go on the internet. There's so much stuff going on. They like the diversity because it keeps people from focusing on what's real and seeing through it. So they bring up the next gig or this or that or the better screwdriver, which is fine. I'll utilize these things too, but if I need it. But other than that, no. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? In a way, this sounds kind of funny, but would it make sense to, take humans and do that and take their organs out and give it to the pigs so they live longer? You see? Does that make sense? So which way makes sense? Raising these animals, which they're here for their experience, and then keeping them in cages and then destroying them so that people can live longer? And what are these people going to live longer for? To continually agree to the demise of the planet? For the most part, that'll be it. Obey the rules and regulations and be good citizens. Okay, fine. Have fun. The end result is what? So again, these are choices. And I could see it as a Netflix series. Yeah, maybe kind of a comedy in some way. Pretty soon everybody in the neighborhood's got pig parts, and they're all pigs. And you could see it as there'd be store sites. Pig parts 50% off this week only. Whatever. Okay, see, it becomes nuts. Is this really what it's about here in creation? I mean, you could do anything with creation. You could awesome things. Everything can be awesome. And yes, it's with your real awareness. You don't even need these bodies with your real awareness, standing up your body. How do you do that? But in the meantime, yeah, the trees, nature, the butterflies, the bees, the animals. I mean, there can be an awesomeness if it's recognized. But I'm not saying we're here to make a change, but I'm applying things too, to get people motivated in a particular. And after a while, I see many people, it's like, well, you're just using these. You're just making this stuff up, Duane. Well, how did they make your cell phone? Didn't they just make that up? Again, was that always here? Is that the best idea ever? Et cetera. So everything's made up. And if it's agreed upon to a certain extent, it becomes a reality in this dimension. It's a reality in other dimensions, like the vessels. They're already finished on the real side. The boys already did them. They're fast. It doesn't take them long. They know exactly what to do, and they've prepared it. They've laid the cable. And so to present it to people in this dimension here so that they can free themselves, that's huge. So again, the deceptors, they make it sound good, don't they? Just like all these things, finding the Dead Sea Scrolls and all this, they get all these so-called experts out there. Then they bring the cameras and the interviewers saying, oh, gee, we found this stuff, when really they planted it. So it makes it look good, just like all the predictions in the so-called Bible. It's a business plan. They they decided what was going to happen in the Bible. Then they made it happen later. That's all. They got time. Then all of a sudden the predictions come true, and then they got all these people professing it. So the same thing, I see the same thing basically, same marketing ploy, and just another distraction for people. And there will be people that will be ordering their pig parts. Already ordering it is probably, get yours now before, because there's only going to be a certain number. So they'll market that too, you see? Yeah. And they'll charge whatever. But again, it's not about the money. It's just like the government and that charging taxes with people. Hey, these are the people that make the money. They don't care about the money. They just want to keep people in control and supporting them. That's the whole idea. They can make as much money as they want, so it's not about that. So, and pig parts, well, they'll just clone all these things like they do a lot of the food and stuff. They'll just clone it, and everybody will have their pig part, and a lot of people will be happy with this. Yeah, just like they are with their pacers and everything else within themselves, and etc. And having pizza every night, whatever. They're happy with that. So it's choice, isn't it? But again, I see it as just another diversion into something even stranger than what we already know, Charles. Yes, it only gets stranger and more weird, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, really weird, John.
Yes.
Really weird, Duane.
Anton, you
Yeah,
have to mute. Anton, you have to mute, young man.
Yes, yes.
Yes, thank you. Go ahead, Charles. Yeah, it just gets stranger. It doesn't get better. People are thinking in the mode that, oh, it's getting better because we have more new invention. No, it gets worse and more bizarre. It's not getting better. It's more than evident. And this is not a put down, it's a reality. It's a complicated mess. Have since the pharmaceuticals were introduced in the 20s and 30s, I read about those and how it was done by the oil companies and the Rockefellers and whatever. Have things gotten better? No, more people need them where they didn't need them before. Now all of a sudden they need them. And so people are thinking, oh, this is good. We have all this medication. Well, you could have probably survived more naturally without it, but now you're thinking that you need it. So, okay, take it. You need it. So at a certain point, guess what? You do need it. That's just how it is. You do need it. You do need your car. Okay. You can't fly like Peter Pan, so you need your car. So now we got cars. Yes, it just becomes more bizarre. So, yes. I'm sure we'll see it on Facebook. Order your pig parts, 50% off. Yes. Thank you, Charles.
yeah, it's really weird, Duane. And as you say, as time goes on, it only becomes strange. More strange things crop up. And I can remember what I shared some time ago, some weeks ago, about somebody's predictions that by, was it 50 something, 5049, the alien agenda would really be complete, and people will be the kind of picture of the picture of the human I saw was complete alien. You see, with those kind of very long heads, and long skulls, sunken eyes. That's how humans will be on Earth at that time. So as you say, with the passage of time, it only gets worse. And I can imagine people using pig hearts, pig livers, really strange.